r/no stupid questions. Joseph Joe Staliver says, is it normal to get frustrated about being a woman? It worries me a bit. It's the frustration coming from anything that makes people treat me differently than a man. It's a victimless crime, no one is to blame. I'm indeed a woman, and so I get treated like one. Don't get me wrong, biological differences are clear, but it should end there. Rather than being men or women, we are people. My genitals don't define me, and I really don't want to be perceived as a woman in a different way than biologically. Maybe I'm just fed up with comments like all women are more meticulous, which isn't bad per se, but it's stating a difference. Just treat me like you would with your local Dave, without harmful and unharmful differences like never argue with a woman, or having men and women perfumes. It's a smell. There are no masculine or feminine smells. I want to smell like me, not like a girl. I dress, not with girl clothes, I just wear my clothes. I don't have a masculine haircut or a feminine haircut. It's my hair. It doesn't have a gender. You cannot prefer to have a baby boy or a baby girl. They're the same. They should be the same except for their anatomy. But if I were to choose, I much rather be perceived as a man. I'd be happier. Not because of privilege or something, I'm lucky to live in a egalitarian country where I can do almost anything a man does. It's something deeper. And it makes me mad sometimes. Because I know, in some way, people see me different from a man. Not in a she's inferior way, which also happens, just in a she is a woman, not a man way. And also because I can't explain why I feel like this. I know there are a lot of contradictions here. It's irrational, that's why I chose a NoStupidQuestions subreddit. Thanks for reading. The Green Dahlia says, really interesting point, and totally makes sense to me. It sounds like you're frustrated with the fact that people see your gender before they see you for your own individual self, and they make assumptions based on that gender or stereotypes they have about that gender. Like, why can't people just see people as people instead of seeing them as a gender? Thank you says, people will see people as just people when we stop using gender stereotypes and making such a huge deal about gender. Joseph Joe Staliver says, tism for you answer, these were exactly my thoughts. I'm very glad that it is a valid feeling. However, I wish nobody had to feel that way. WOMBAT says, I think you're talking about casual sexism. Yeah, it's normal to be frustrated by that kind of bigotry. Semen Sempre says, that implies the existence of competitive sexism. Absolute 4,080,120 says, I'm working on it, going for rank 1. Plenty Character 416 says, when I was younger I was frustrated. Now that I'm 36, I could give two hoots. And quite frankly it goes both ways. People are idiots who say, do and think a lot of stupid shit. It's never worth your sanity to even worry about it. Men are frustrated for the way they're viewed. Women are frustrated for the way they're viewed. Just give everyone the middle finger and you do you. r/no stupid questions. Edalute says, are the people immune to pineapple burning your taste buds? Okay IDK, if my family is messing with me and I can't find a good answer online. When I search for it the only hits I get are articles about the brome. Whatever the frick it is called thing is, I love pineapple, always have. But it always have felt awful to drink anything, especially water, after eating a few slices. My wife tells me she feels fine after eating it, and so does my Bill and her cousin. Are they lying to me? Wee Woo 1985 says, you probably have a pineapple allergy and they don't. Someone Impossible says, oral allergy syndrome, this is me and oranges. Oranges burn. Shauna Bonnie says, you are allergic. Ruscotil says, you are allergic to pineapple. Oniipon says, you're allergic. Bunady Rest says, I have this. I really don't think it's an allergy. Something about pineapple kinda eating away at your flesh on a microscopic scale. It doesn't hurt, as in, it doesn't burn me to the point where I have to stop eating it. It's kinda like eating sour candy and having a sensitive tongue afterwards. Palanky96 says, but I had a similar problem. I loved kiwis when I was in high school. Tried some after a few years. I don't remember them being this spicy, burning mouth, bleeding tongue. Hey Ashikin says, the bromelain enzyme is a reason for the burning. Could it be that they add salt to pineapple while you don't? r/NoStupidQuestions. Among Throxandroots says, what explanation or explanations might there be for the used car dealership near me that is never open and hasn't moved a vehicle on its lot in 5+ years? Every time I drive by this place it piques my curiosity and I always wonder what the story is. I first noticed it about 5 years ago, and even at that time the cars on the lot looked like they had been sitting for a long time, paint fading, tires going flat, a couple with tarps over their roofs. I started paying closer attention then. Every time I go by, and not one of the cars has moved, nor is anyone ever there. I don't see how one could go that long without paying the rent or mortgage, but even assuming they own it outright there would still be property taxes due. There are probably 50 or so cars there, none of them anything I'd consider super desirable for restoration, but even just for spare parts and scrap metal they'd have to be worth a decent sum. Is it a front for something shady? A tax write-off? Caught up in some kind of legal wrangling that's been working its way through the courts for years. I'm curious if anybody has seen something similar or know what the story could be. Snookupcake7992 says, I have no idea, but I was so excited to see the correct spelling of peaked in this instance. It's always peaked. Jekatadjural says, I was also ridiculously excited to see that. Spelling nerds, unite. Crumblerpops Forever says, bad grammar makes me sick. Rewardiflist says, D/FBI/CIA front. Maybe the business was to be split in an inheritance or divorce that is still dragging through the courts. Or it was seized by one of those agencies, or eyes, in a criminal conspiracy case that is still in the courts. The bills are being paid. Someone is paying the rent/mortgage, if there is any, and the property taxes are being paid. If they weren't, then you would see/hear about legal seizures going on, and the lack of attention would be manifest through people stealing or vandalizing there. Enginerded says, it's the government. Larger consideration 54 says, owner died, no heirs or family lives elsewhere, and does not care, could be bank owned already, and got lost in the shuffle, who knows? I'm sure a little Google search would help. Your investigation. GL. r/NoStupidQuestions. Stockritz says, every single time, like literally without fail, I go through security at the airport, they have to pat down my crotch. How do I make it stop? Let me be the first, and hopefully last, to make a balls of steel joke. But really, why is this happening, and how do I make it end? I fly about once a month, so it's happening a lot. Educational Candy 17 says, can you get approved security pre-check? That's supposed to help as far as I know. Sale Zero Jerry says, they always used to check my back because it would get sweaty from my backpack. Maybe you've just got sweaty balls. Then I got Sapri check and I just breeze through a metal detector now. Loopy 666,999 says, really? What airport? Asking for a friend. Wastajad 3488 says, Get a known traveler number and go through TSAP check line, or stop putting your hog out there like a billboard. Dragonfly says, don't have a crotch. Onachanambra says, sweat can set off the alarm, so one's underarms and crotch often light up when you go through the X-ray machine. Fun Ambassador 5153 says, sexual harassment is only legal if it's the government. You work for them. r/NoStupidQuestions. Different Phone 7654 says, how would you feel if you got X dollars posts were banned? I'm sure I'm not the only one that sees multiple per day in their feed. I would feel like it was a good step taken. Dolan says, yes please. Correct Fun 516 says, I'd support that ban. JaviDR1 says, so you got Y dollars. Backwaters Run Deep says, what if you got $1 for every one of those posts that was banned? Rhomboidus says, the karma farming bots would just find another post to spam. Until Reddit actually starts restricting bots and enforcing bans, there isn't much anyone can do. Calic 254 says, I just want to know where all this theoretical money for doing all these things is coming from. Locroix Lemon says, if I had $1, I'd tell you what it'd do. Sprizis says, it's all people post now. Bejedthabud says, they have gotten really stupid and pointless. Slurpy McNugget says, banning those posts would be like winning the Reddit lottery. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.